With 2 trucks, the beginnings of a fleet, my mother was looking forward to what she saw as a pleasant, reasonably secure future. She began to think less about acorn and more about earthseed, about spreading earthseed to whole groups of new people. She wrote more than once in her journal that she hoped to use missionaries to make conversions in nearby cities and towns and to build whole new earthseed communities, clones of acorn. I think she especially liked this last idea. She even imagined names for the acorn clones, like a girl thinking up names for imaginary children that she hopes to have someday. There was a hazelnut, a pine, a manzanita, a sunflower, an almond. They should be small communities, she said. No more than a few hundred people, never more than 1,000. A community whose population grew to more than 1,000 should split and parent a new community. In small communities, she believed, people are more accountable to one another. Serious misbehavior is harder to get away with, harder even to begin when everyone who sees you knows who you are, where you live, who your family is, and whether you have any business doing what you're doing. My mother was not a fanciful woman apart from her belief in earthseed. That, I think, was why the people of Acorn trusted her so. She was practical, straightforward, fair, honest, and she liked people. She enjoyed working with them. She was a better than average community leader. But beneath it all was always earthseed and a longing, an obsession that was far stronger than anyone seemed to realize. People who are intelligent, ambitious, and at the same time in the grip of odd obsessions can be dangerous. When they occur, they inevitably upset things. In the first book of the living, my mother says, prodigy is, in its essence, adaptability and persistent, positive obsession. Without persistence, what remains is an enthusiasm of the moment. Without adaptability, what remains may be channeled into destructive fanaticism. Without positive obsession, there is nothing at all.